No one is talking about how if you live in this economy, this day and age, and you are single and you pay all your bills yourself, don't have no help, you a badass. Because, baby, the price tag is high over here.
Anyone else agree? It is expensive being single. Now, I'm not here to talk politics, but I have seen something on social media today, and whether or not that is true, it better not be, around taxing single people more. However, it got me thinking about how expensive it is being single, because I live in this house. This is big enough for 2 people, but I have to cover all the bills myself. If I lived with somebody else, everything would get halved, so then I would have more money to live on. Yes, I've got to share a house with somebody, but I also, obviously, yes, I get a discount in council tax, but it's only 25%. I still pay 75%. Why it's not 50, I'm still not sure about that one. Doesn't make sense. And if you are going on a single holiday, so when I went on holiday on my own, the cost of that holiday was a fraction cheaper because I'm only paying 1 flight. However, I had to pay a room whether there was 1 or 2 people in it. So yeah, being single, it's expensive. And I think a lot of people forget about that side of it. Yes, having kids isn't cheap, but being on your own isn't either, because you've got no one else there to help foot any bill that might come. You've got to do it all on your own. But the benefit of that, what I do say to people is that everything that you own is yours. You don't have to split it with anybody. You get to keep it all to yourself. But does anyone else agree? It is expensive being single.
Okay, something I feel like that's not talked about enough on this app is being single and financially how hard it is. I literally work 2 jobs. I work in sales and I teach Pilates part-time. Both of the jobs pay pretty well, but still I feel like it's so hard to stay afloat. And like, don't get me wrong, I like to ski. I definitely don't live a frugal life. I have a nice apartment. Never say no to plans, but like, how are people doing it? How are you attending everyone's bachelorette parties, everyone's birthday dinner, going on all of these trips with your friend and having leftover money to spend on yourself? Completely stopped doing my hair, so that saves some money. Truly exhausting. I just don't understand it.
Now turn the tables. If it were a man, he would be boasting right now about how much he can save. Save in money, save in energy, save in everything, basically.
Do y'all ever think about how much harder it is to function in society as a single person than as a person part of a couple? Right? Like, a single person and a couple both only need a 1-bedroom apartment. But when you're splitting it between 2 people, it's way more affordable. The single person is paying twice as much as either of the individuals in the couple. And then the same thing goes for shit like internet, cable. It's not like the couple is getting more or less. It's the same amount. It's just you have someone helping you pay for it. And then you take into consideration the fact that married people get special tax breaks that none of the rest of us get. And then you especially take into consideration the fact that minimum wage used to be able to support an entire family of 4, and now it can't support a single person.
Nobody is talking about how expensive it is to be single, okay? Because when you're single, you don't have anybody that's out here buying you food, helping you with the bills, and if something breaks, you don't have no handy dandy man around the house that's like, oh, I got it, babe, I'll fix it when I get home, or whenever he decide to fix it. No, you either got to get on YouTube University, or you got to go pay somebody. You got to go pay somebody else's man to come in your house and fix it for you. It's too expensive to be single, and people want to be out here cheating, and you better lock you one person down because it's too expensive out here to be alone, okay? Don't just go lock down anybody, you know, make sure they respectful and they love you, but y'all also got to understand it's a business. A relationship is really a business, okay? You got to invest in one another, and I need somebody to come invest into me because it's expensive to be single. Yeah, I want somebody to buy me some food, pick me up some food on the way home, or you know, buy me something just because I don't know.
Exactly the last point. You know, if you're in a relationship, the man will automatically pay. For sure. But with a man, he is never sure. He can't even ask. Because some women will just shame us. Men don't even know if they're getting hooked up with an asset or a liability. Whereas for women, it's always a win-win.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing, or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating to have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself. I have my friends, I have my family, I love them, I can lean on them, but maybe I don't want to tell them all about my finances. Maybe I don't want to have to over-explain my entire health condition to them. Maybe I just need someone to help me with a real quick task that I don't want to have to pay someone or wait for someone to drive across town to come help me. And it is so frustrating because we're told that, being single is great. And it's really great when compared to an unhealthy relationship. But being single is not always better than having a healthy relationship. Don't get me wrong, I am not going to go hop into a relationship with a man just so I can have someone. But I do think we need to be honest that being single, while it can be really great, is also very impractical sometimes.
Women forget that you are paying for everything on your own. You are basically looking after yourself. That is why you never see men making such videos, ever.
Did you know that if you are a single person living in Canada, your cost of living is almost $7,000 more than those who are partnered? While we were filming our episode Beyond Happily Ever After, we talked to Black single women in Canada, the US, the UK, and Ghana about what it means to be single, to find love, to find intimacy, to find happiness in the midst of being strategically single in these places.
Life is economically easier when you have someone to help foot the bill.
I don't know how people manage to be single and have their own space. Most people who are living in London are not living.
They're getting by.
Yeah, they're getting by. Living wage isn't really rising with inflation and hasn't done for years.
From housing to healthcare and even groceries, the cost of being single adds up. Let's take Canada, for example. A single person renting a one-bedroom pays, on average, over $23,000 a year. Meanwhile, a couple splitting a two-bedroom each pay about $14,000 a year. All expenses in, if you're a single person living in Canada, your cost of living is nearly $7,000 more than those who are partnered. Discounts and deals, they almost always require you to be part of a couple or family. Take vacations. Most packages are priced for two. If you book alone, you often get hit with an extra fee that can range from 10% to the full cost of a room.
Notice how the research is only based on single women, not men.
So women keep coming on the app saying how being a single woman is so expensive. And you don't really hear men saying that. You know why you don't hear men saying that? Because men don't live in this world where they want everything and think they deserve to get everything. So they're not willing to spend money on everything. And women think it's expensive to be single because they don't think about sacrificing when they're single. They still want all the other things that come with being in a relationship. So when you can pay for things in a relationship, it's a little less expensive because you got two, incomes. But the women that are single, they still want those things. So you'll find that women will spend money on things that men just will not spend money on. I was watching a guy say he has no problem cutting back on eating. Like, men don't spend money on food like that. Meanwhile, women do. Women like to go out and do things that men will stay in the house and do. Men have this thing where their home is their kingdom and they're willing to stay there all day and enjoy life. TV, video games, whatever. Meanwhile, women are not like that. You don't like to stay in the house. Y'all want to go out and y'all want to be amongst people. Y'all want to be social. And that's why it's expensive. It's like this. Even in a relationship, you'll see how different it is. Because I tell the same thing to my girlfriend. Like, my girl will make me lunch She'll make me a sandwich, chips, snacks that we've already bought from the supermarket. So I'm getting a homemade lunch, but then she won't do it for herself. She'll go to work and then end up spending crazy money on whatever she buys outside by the job, knowing that it's going to be expensive. She still won't set up. She won't pack herself a lunch like she'll pack me a lunch. She'll pack me a lunch. I'll eat a sandwich with juices and chips and snacks, but she won't do the same thing for herself. Instead, she'll get a slice of pizza that costs more than all the stuff that she packed for me. Because that's just how women are. They don't plan like men plan. They don't sacrifice like men sacrifice. So when men are single, they're saving money. When women are single, they're spending money. That's why women save money in relationships and men don't. Because men have the ability to sacrifice and be more mindful of their spending when they're single than women are. Women don't feel like they have to stop spending or sacrifice even when they're single and they have to go through. They're like, why is it so expensive to do this? Why is it so expensive to do that? Because you want to do everything and you don't have the fun to do it. And most women don't make as much money as men, but they still want the same things as if they do. Meanwhile, men could be making a whole lot of money and be living like they don't have any money. That's why being single is different for men and women. Because women don't make sacrifices when they're single, or they don't feel like they have to. And so they feel the burn of expenses more than men do, because they're not going to stop spending money on the things that they want, even if they can only afford the things that they need. Men will do that. Men will eat sandwiches, will eat cereal, will cut back on going out, chill at the crib. We like being at the crib. Now, women don't like that. Women want to be out and about and living life and thinking that they deserve to live life regardless of what the expenses. That's why there's in so much debt. That's why so much consumer debt is on women, because women will spend it when they don't have it. Most people don't have a lifestyle problem. They have a spending problem. This idea that you think you need this much money to live life is only because you think you deserve things that you can't afford. And because you think that, you're going to struggle. Meanwhile, you won't hear men coming on this app crying about being single and struggling, because they will be able to cut back and live off the minimal lifestyle until they get where they want to go. Very few women are able to do that, and that's why they struggle. That's why being single as a woman is more expensive than it is to men, because men are cool. We don't need much. Women need everything, and even then they're not happy. It's not an accident that you guys are struggling. It's your own choices.
It's expensive because they need to keep up with the image of them living a luxury lifestyle, whereas men don't give shit about all this.
How expensive it is to be single and not in a relationship. Can we just talk about that, right? Everyone goes on, all these haters online on the videos talking about dating, and we want to try and find rich men. We're not trying to find rich men. We're trying to find men who've got a good job, who can support themselves, so we don't have to support another person. Okay, I've got 2 kids and me that I'm supporting solely, right, with food, clothing, everything else that goes with it. But can we just talk about how expensive it is to be single? Okay, so I have to pay my house, my rent, mortgage, whatever else we're paying out on my own. Normally, if you were with a partner or you were married, you would split that. Or if you're lucky enough to have a partner that earns enough money to pay for you, then obviously they're paying for the whole thing. But in general, for most people, that would be half the amount of money. And then obviously council tax, that would be halved. And then all the bills halved, food shopping halved. I mean, it is really, really expensive to be single.
Chase us anymore because they're all boss babing their way through life and they're financially independent. Most of us are broke as fuck. Most women like myself are struggling financially in this economy. Half of my wage goes towards rent. And despite this, many women still don't want to find a man. Not because they're thriving. I'm certainly not thriving. I'm fucking flirting with financial ruin. But would rather be broke and alone than with you going 50-50, putting up with your bullshit and giving us the bare minimum. We are over it.
So she admits most women are broke and barely hanging on, but somehow being with a man is still a worse option than staying one bill away from collapse. That tells you everything about the mindset. Men keep getting told that going 50-50 is offensive, even while she is saying half her income goes to rent and she is flirting with financial ruin. At this point, it is not
a lot of people are staying single, men especially, because they don't want to be a burden financially, because life right now is so stinking expensive. Like the cost of living, whether you're renting an apartment or paying a mortgage, it outweighs monthly with all your bills added up: electric, water, your phone bill, absolutely everything you can think of, your car payment. It all adds up, and nobody wants to be a financial burden. If you have credit card payments, if you have college payments.
The real meat of it for the manipulators of this whole thing is to create an adult single class.
Yeah.
And the reason
Yeah.
for the adult single class is such. You got to have 2 homes or 2 apartments, 2 sets of furniture, 2 refrigerators, 2 insurance policies, 2 air conditioning units, 2 light bills, 2 water bills, right?
Yeah.
2 beds, 2 of everything. So now you done took a thing and you've doubled up on everything. So now the expenses have doubled because the man and woman are not cohabitating and sharing a space together. That's number 1. Number 2, by being single, you create a thing called a hyper-consumer.
Yes.
Because people who are married and pair it off at a young age until their elder age won't take a $10,000 salary bonus and buy an $8,000 purse. Nor will they take a $10,000 salary bonus and buy $8,000 worth of rims for their ride. All of these things we do as hyper-consumers because we're single.
The most reasonable explanation for this dating climate. Great observation.
So I've sat back to see if I was tripping, right? But I don't think I am. As a matter of fact, I know I'm not tripping. When it comes to the single life, I don't see a lot of men online, notice I said online, talking about how expensive it is to be single. Now, maybe they say they don't like being single. They rather have a woman, 2 is better than 1. Cool. I'm down with all that. I love relationships. I love love. I love the unity. I love all that, long as it's right. And of course, I already know why, right? I already know why that's the case, because it's an old saying, and it's a true saying, that men that are single, they save money. When women get in relationships, they then save money. When men are in relationships, they tend to lose a lot of money. I've noticed here lately that the women are admitting that it's true, because they're saying being single is expensive. And every time they bring up being single is expensive, they're always talking about a man paying for something. It's never about any type of cooperation. It's never about femininity matching with masculinity. It's never about unity, which is what a relationship is supposed to be about. Togetherness, which is what a relationship is supposed to be about. It's always about saving some type of money, or saving her from debt, or saving her from her own expensive taste, I guess you could say, and letting a man take care of that burden. So as long as women admit that they want to be in a relationship so they can save money, men will continue to be like, nah, I'm good, because I save money by being single. And men that think like that, they already know they would rather have a woman that's an asset than a liability. Because don't get me wrong, there are women that are assets out here. It might be few and far between, or, rare to find, but there are women that are assets out here. It's just that we understand when a woman says, hey, being single is expensive, we understand she then is a liability. Simple.
Being single is cheaper for us men, for sure. Let's not forget that she believes his money is our money, but her money is truly and only hers. Now think about that cash flow. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. See you tomorrow.